50 years ago, what were you doing? Were you even alive? Well, that was when Waltham football was arguably at its best. But how successful were they? Stick around, because we'll find out on this episode of Hawk Nation Sports. Compare anything between now and 50 years ago. Nothing is similar. The same goes for the game of football. According to the 1965 Waltham football team, the game has adapted. Many changes have occurred. The ratio of passing to running plays has reversed. Originally, high school football was mainly run plays, but now you'll see the ball in the air a lot more. The 1965 team worked well together, and they gave some great advice to the current players today. Let's check it out. What's going on, guys? I'm Justin Ventura, and I'm here with Mr. Hardy, a member of the 1965 undefeated football team at Waltham High School. So thank you for coming on the show, and I have a couple questions for you. So first question is, what's some advice you have for these players today?
Well, Justin, the advice I have is enjoy the moment, soak it up, build the bonds, learn from your coaches, try to be better every day, and the returns will be there over the whole course of your life. Football is a very special sport. There's no sport that gives you as many chances to be better. Every practice, every game, you start anew every 10 seconds or so. And there's lots to learn from that experience that cross over into other parts of life. Beyond that, the numbers of people who you're with every day, working with every day, you can look at the number of people on that team who showed up today, and that tells you the bond, the strength of the bonds that we shared. So my advice to the players is just understand what you can gain by putting in your practice time and your game time and building those bonds with your teammates.
That's great advice, Mr. Hardy. Great advice. My other question is, what were some great memories you had on that 1965 undefeated team?
Well, the 65 team was very special for several reasons. Number one, the year before was the year that everyone picked to win it all. And we had a terrific team, but we had just brought in a new coach who turned things around after 7 losing seasons for Waltham High football. And it took a little while for the new system to kick in, but we ended up with a winning team for the first time in 7 years in '64, and that began to turn things around. And then being with this set of coaches for an extra year is when the payoff came. Just what I was telling you, you put the time in, you work every day, and you get better and better, and that's what happened. We had a lot of talent. A lot of us had played together for a number of years, Pop Warner, freshman, JV, and good coaching, a lot of talent, and it all came together, and that was pretty special. And the town, the city was really excited. Homecoming day of 1965, this field was packed with 7,000 to 8,000 people, crowded all around. So in those days, you only had one college game in the afternoon. It was all different, all very different. So we became the focal point for the city of Waltham in the fall of '65. It was pretty special.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Hardy.
My pleasure, Justin.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks, baby. What's going on, guys? I'm here with Mr. Marcoux, another member of the 1965 undefeated football team. So thank you for coming on the show. First question is, what is some advice you have for these players today?
Well, I think the most important thing is stick together. You know, do good in school, stick together. I was lucky enough to, the players that I played with, a lot of them were really headed to college, or they had a direction. So even though we had some good times, we took our game serious. And it's played on that same field that's out there. The grass was real grass at the time, though. But we had it was fun playing. And I just want these guys this year to do the best they can. That's all you can do.
Great advice. So during that 1965 run, what was the greatest memory you had personally?
Was stepping on the field. I had the luck of being, I was there's a lot of really good players on the team. None of us were superstars, but it was a lot of good players. We all just stuck together. We did our job. We had great captains. They were low-key, but they got the job done. I was lucky. I actually had the most playing time on the team. It's the only thing, my claim to fame. I was on the kickoff team, the return team, the punt team, the coverage teams. I was on offense and defense. I played every minute of every game, except for Brockton. We killed Brockton that year, and I came out with 2 minutes left. So I was pretty proud of the fact that I actually, amongst all those great players, I was on the field more than anyone.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Marcoux.
Let me just tell you a couple of things. We're going to give Coach Len Hill, who was one of our coaches, he was a backfield coach. We're giving him a plaque tonight. Just a silly little thing to just say, we could not have done it without you. Waltham High Football Hawks, 1965, Coach Len Hill. And this is the jacket that we won for winning the championship. So awesome. That's what I have to tell you.
Awesome.
So, thanks, Justin. It's been a pleasure.
What's going on, guys? I'm with the 1965 first mascot ever of Waltham Hawks history, Al. So, Al, how was the feeling of being that first Hawk?
Well, it was different. I was in class one day, and the headmaster called me in and said, I want you to be the Waltham Hawks for the homecoming game. So there was like, wow, I don't believe it. So I actually got to ride on the float with the homecoming queen, Donna Harris. So that was a thrill. My sister called it Beauty and the Beast. We won the game 32-22, and it was an interesting experience.
That's awesome. What's your best memory as being the Hawk?
We won the game, and after that, the team went on to go undefeated. But it was being on the field with the cheerleaders and rooting for the team and doing the cheers with them, and just pumping the fans up for the game. And after that game, all the teams we played were shut out. It was incredible. The defense was unbelievable, and I thought we were the best team in the state. Pat Horn had a different opinion. He thought Everett was, but everybody in Waltham knew that if we played Everett with the defense we had, even though we had very few quarterbacks, they kept getting injured every game, but we kept going on with the defense, and we had enough offense to win all the games. So it was a nice experience, and I'm glad I did it.
That's awesome. Well, one more question. What's the strategy you had to pump up the crowd?
Well, just joining with the cheerleaders. Whatever they did, I did pretty much, because it was a new experience. I didn't have any formal training, obviously, so it was interesting. And then the senior year, I was the Hawk at the senior day events and everything, so it was fun.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Al.
Thank you.
What's going on, guys? I'm here with another member of the 1965 undefeated football team, Mr.
Kevin Fahey.
There you go. So the first question I have for you is, what is some advice you have for these players today?
That's a good question. Just to try to take everything you learn on the field and translate it into life. If you get good coaching, it's not just about the football. Not all of them are going to play after Thanksgiving. And if they can just take lessons learned on the field and translate them into life, is what you're looking for.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Great advice. Another question is, what's the different type of playing style that you guys had back then rather than today?
I think the kids are bigger today than they were back then. We're just talking about them. Coach Kopp was a tremendously innovative coach, and he had passing and running plays that other schools didn't have. He had men in motion that would whack the quarterback on the way by. You didn't see that back in the 60s. In different formats, we had a shift, offensive shift. So he was really innovative like that, so he did a lot of things other schools didn't do. But I imagine today it's more wide open, more passing. And the kids are bigger.
All right, well, thank you. What's going on, guys? More players from the 1965 undefeated football team. So I got a question for you guys. What is some advice you have for the players today?
I think when you're out playing a high school sport, you just can't imagine the joy and the memories that you're weaving together with your teammates. Here we are 50 years ago, and it's as if we were here yesterday. The body's a little different, but the mind is still there, and we still tell stories. And that's the gift of being in high school sports. So just let it all come out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with Doug, and it's really all about relationships. I mean, we haven't seen each other in many years, but we still treasure the time that we've had together. And the only other thing I'd say is to really learn from, football is a sport of discipline, and the discipline that you learn on the football field or in any other athletic, sport is just those are lessons for life. So relationships are important, and the discipline that you learn is also important.
Mm-hmm. Great advice. Well, obviously you guys went undefeated that season. What separated you guys from the rest of the pack?
Well, I think we had a magnificent coaching crew, and number one is, and I would say is, they had the knowledge and the skills for a group of young adolescents, and they helped weave this dream, which we kind of worked this way through, and eventually they instilled in us to believe in ourselves and that we could do something. And they kept, I remember coaches kept saying to us, you can do this. I wouldn't put you in a situation I didn't think you could be successful. And lo and behold, we learned to trust one another. We learned to work hard. We learned that that was good, and it had some rewards. Not every day was easy, but every day was rewarding.
Yeah, and we played as a team. I mean, most of us, we all had grown up together and played maybe other sports, Pop Warner football, baseball, basketball, whatever. So by the time we got to high school, we all knew each other, and we respected each other and cared for each other. And we played as a team. You know, while there were some wonderful individuals, it was very much a team sport. And I think that's what really separated us. And as Doug said, we cared about each other, and we had a great coaching staff that really focused on winning, and we worked hard to do it as well.
I think if we were to start the games today, and I don't know how they start games today, we would come out as a whole team, not as individuals. And I'm attuned to like the Patriots, but that's what Skip said. We just knew each other and we cared about each other. And that has lasted 50 years. Look, the turnout today is spectacular. Thank you to the high school for doing this. Thank you to Bobby and Skip and Steve for organizing this. This is amazing. 50 years ago.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you for coming on the show. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Ready? What's going on, guys? I'm here with the 1965 cheering squad. They're all really excited. They still have that great enthusiasm, I think. So one question I have for you guys. Is, how did you guys pump up the crowd before the games and during the games?
We had a pep squad, and we used to address a lot of the cheers to the pep squad, and they would respond to our cheers.
Whatever we did.
They were very loud. And
So
we were
we.
too.
We got the whole crowd involved, basically, yeah.
Very good.
We had megaphones, and we'd go, give me a W and give me an A, and so on, and then what does it spell? Waltham, louder, Waltham. That's what we did.
That's what we did.
That's awesome. So, do you guys have a cheer for us? Come on, you guys definitely have one cheer.
We'll
All right, sing it. Ready? Let's go. Let me see it. Ready?
All right, we'll do
Ready?
give a cheer.
Go. Ready?
What are we doing?
Give a cheer, Waltham High.
So, give a cheer for Waltham High. Make it loud and strong. Give a cheer for the teammates so they know we're helping them along.
Rah, rah, rah.
We'll cheer the team to victory and let our banner try. Okay, do it. For it's W-A-L-T-H-A-M for Waltham High. Can't you hear the teammates yelling? W-A-L-T-H-A-M. Can't you hear them smiling? W-A-L-T-H-A-M. Waltham, Waltham, rah, 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 rah. Cheer the team when leading, losing. Cheer the red and white. Cheer the team when they're winning. So our cheers will help along their fight. Fight, fight, fight. Cheers will bring us victory. Another cheer we'll try.
I can get this part.
For it's W-A-L-T-H-A-M for Waltham High.
Well, there you have the 1965 Waltham cheering squad. Some great personalities with that group. 50 years and still such a tight unit. Well, that's all we have for this week's episode. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the next episode. Good luck next week, Waltham. Go Hawks, baby.